You wake up tired in a world that never stops talking. Not loud, tired. Not dramatically tired. A deeper exhaustion that lives behind your eyes and settles into your chest. You carry it quietly, because everyone else seems to be coping, smiling, moving forward. But inside you feel the drag of something unnamed. Burnout without collapse. Pain without permission to speak. This is the modern condition, suffering wrapped in silence, disguised as normal life. And you have been taught to escape it, numb it, outrun it. Yet it follows you. Always. You were told comfort would save you, that ease would heal you. But comfort has only made you brittle. The moment pain appears, you question yourself. You ask what went wrong. You search for blame. You believe suffering is a mistake. But suffering is not an error in the design. It is the design. It arrives not as punishment, but as summons. A knock at the door you keep pretending not to hear. Miyamoto Musashi understood this truth early. He did not wait for pain to find him. He stepped toward it. While others sought protection, he sought exposure. While others hid behind walls, he walked into uncertainty armed only with discipline and resolve. Pain was not something to escape. It was something to enter, fully awake. This is the first secret you were never taught. Suffering does not disappear when avoided. It multiplies. But when faced, when accepted without flinching, it begins to change shape. What hunts you can become, what trains you. And what trains you can be mastered. Musashi was not shaped by softness. He was forged in abandonment, raised in a world where affection was rare and violence was honest. As a child, he learned early that no one was coming to save him. The ground was hard. The air was unforgiving. Survival was not a theory. It was a daily negotiation with death. In such a world, pain was not questioned. It was expected. The sword became his first language, not as romance, but as necessity. Steel taught him what words never could. That hesitation invites destruction. That fear leaks through the body. That weakness is not judged, only exploited. Ancient Japan did not reward potential. It rewarded readiness. And Musashi adapted or disappeared. Pain was not a tragedy in his life. It was the atmosphere. Hunger, wounds, loneliness, uncertainty. These were not dramatic chapters. They were the background of existence. And this is what separated him from those who broke. He did not ask why hardship followed him. He understood it was shaping him. There is a difference you must understand. Some hardship is imposed. It arrives uninvited, but some is chosen. Musashi learned to choose his suffering, to step into trials before they stepped into him. In a world where weakness was a death sentence, he learned to treat pain as instruction, not injustice. This is where respect is born, not in victory, but in endurance. You live in a time where pain is postponed, filtered, softened. It is hidden behind screens and distractions, delayed until it erupts without warning. You are encouraged to stay comfortable, stay entertained, stay distracted. And so when suffering arrives, as it always does, you are untrained. You panic. You collapse inward. Comfort has become an addiction. Avoidance has become a lifestyle. Every discomfort is treated like a threat instead of a teacher. You scroll past boredom. You silence anxiety with noise. You sedate emptiness with consumption. But pain does not dissolve when ignored. It waits, it gathers weight, and when it finally breaks through, it feels unbearable. This is why there are so many fractures under pressure. Their nervous systems have never been tempered. Their identities were built in safe rooms, not battlefields. Psychological fragility is not a weakness of character. It is the result of constant escape. You cannot grow strong avoiding resistance. Musashi faced pain directly, repeatedly, without anesthesia. He trained inside uncertainty. He made suffering familiar. You have been taught to numb yourself instead, and untrained suffering becomes chaos. It spills into anger, depression, addiction, confusion. Pain is not the problem. Your relationship to it is, and until that changes, it will continue to break you instead of build you. Musashi was calm because he did not argue with reality. In battle, there was no space for resentment, no time for denial. The storm was already there. The blade was already moving. Acceptance was not philosophy. It was survival. Pain loses its dominance the moment you stop resisting it. Resistance multiplies suffering. You tighten against what is already happening, and the tension becomes torment. Fighting reality does not make you strong. It fractures you from the inside. Acceptance is not surrender. It is grounding. It is standing fully inside the moment without bargaining. Musashi did not ask why the storm came. He adjusted his stance. He rooted himself. He moved with what was, not what he wished existed. This is where modern minds struggle. You ask why this happened to you. Why now? Why again? And every question sharpens the blade against your own skin. The warrior does not ask why me. He asks what now. When pain is accepted, it stops shouting. It becomes information. And information, once understood, can be used. This is the first law. You cannot master what you refuse to acknowledge. Musashi walked alone for years, not because he was unwanted, but because he chose distance. He understood something you have been trained to fear. Solitude sharpens. It strips illusion. It removes the noise that keeps you from hearing yourself. Loneliness is not abandonment when it is chosen. It is refinement. In silence, your weaknesses surface. Your ego complains. Your fears grow louder. And if you stay, if you do not run back to distraction, something else emerges. Clarity.modern life treats silence like a threat. You are encouraged to stay connected, stimulated, surrounded, but constant noise weakens the mind. Solitude forces confrontation. You meet yourself without witnesses. Musashi used solitude as a weapon, to observe, to refine his edge, to become intimate with his own thoughts. He befriended himself before facing the world. This is why solitude feels heavy to you. It removes your masks, but within that discomfort is strength waiting to be claimed. There was nothing glamorous about Musashi's training. No applause, no spectators, just repetition. Cold mornings, sore muscles, the same movements practiced until boredom burned away and only discipline remained. This is endurance. Endurance is not dramatic. It is loyalty to the path when nothing exciting happens. Pain endured calmly reshapes identity. You stop seeing yourself as fragile. You become familiar with effort. Many believe they endure when they are only surviving. Survival waits for relief. Endurance does not. It continues regardless. Musashi stayed when escape was easier. He remained when quitting would have been invisible. This is where mastery forms. Not in intensity, but consistency. Each day you stay is a quiet victory. Each repetition is a statement. The discipline of endurance teaches. You who you really are when no one is watching. Musashi rejected fame because he understood its cost. Recognition feeds ego, and ego magnifies suffering. The need to be seen turns pain into performance. It demands control. It represents limitation. Pain strips illusions. It reveals how little control you truly have. Ego resists this truth. It wants superiority, certainty, and applause. But suffering does not negotiate. It humbles. Musashi let go of validation. He did not need witnesses to his discipline. He suffered quietly, without an audience, without explanation. When you release the need to be recognized, pain loses one of its sharpest hooks. You no longer suffer for image. You suffer for growth. This is humility, and humility is strength refined. Musashi was not only a warrior, he was an artist, a philosopher, a strategist. Pain did not narrow his perception. It refined it. Stillness inside hardship created vision. When you stop fighting pain, space opens. In that space, insight forms. Creativity is born from disciplined suffering, not chaos, but containment. Pain mastered becomes guidance. It shows you where to stand, where to move, where to let go. Musashi painted, wrote, and observed. His suffering became clarity. This is alchemy, turning weight into direction. Musashi did not fear death because he had lived with pain. Familiarity removes intimidation. What you know cannot dominate you. Modern anxiety grows from avoidance. You fear what you refuse to touch. When suffering is expected, fear loses leverage. .com becomes natural. Not forced, not brave, just present. This is freedom. Musashi's code is not history. It is instruction. Suffering does not end. Mastery continues. You will be shaped by pain or shattered by it. That is the choice. The warrior walks forward regardless, quietly, awake.